Alright, Chapter 4, Section 3, Pipeline Intra-Terminals. This is your Military Standardization Handbook, Petroleum Operations 2014B, Department of Defense, Petroleum Operations. Chapter 4, Section 3, Intra-Terminals. Alright, General. The section outlined with the basic principle of the safe, efficient operation of the basic the pipeline system, the special operation peculiar to pipelines if treated with the receiving the issued storage. The types of pipelines are divided into three types. The basic type of the single line with the loop system and the double line. Combination of the three will be found. An individual system consists of the line one, each of the product from the tank of the dock, loading of the receiving track in the looping system tank of the possible of the pier with the risers and are connected with the complete loop in the case of the one side with the damage of the alternate path of the product is transferred with available. Double line system is a system in which the tank is served in two main lines, but the system has most of all of the advantage of the loop system and an additional permits the tanks to be circulated with the individual or by transfer. 4.7. Your pipeline accessories. Pipe. Fuel pipelines usually range from the size of the 4 to 30 inch of the diameter of the base on with expected throughout the economic analysis of the operation maintenance of the cost of versus the first cost of the installation. Detail of the constructions are based on the recognized engineering codes such as the ASTMI. American National Standard Institute and American Society Testing Materials and American Petroleum Institution publications. Alright, the valves. The most common type of the pipeline valve, the gate valve, and plug valves, ball valves, check valve. The other type is the diaphragm, float, valve, globular, leveler, bands, needle pressure reducing, pressure regulators, and safety valves, usually the smaller lines with a more specialized purpose. Gate valves are available to rising stem with the type of which give the visible indication of the gate position non-rising whenever the space does not permit. The other type, the other pressure drop throughout the open gate valve offers minimum resistance to the flow, and there are some types difficult to open large pressure if the differential is present. Plug valves are classified lubricated with the non-lubricated lubricated type of the plug valve that are found in older systems but are considerably obsolete since the lubrication necessary to operate with them can contribute significantly to fuel contamination. Plug valve openings are usually smaller than ran line size. However, the full size openings are used over the mainline pipes in order to pass line scraper or cleaner. Your ball valves are also usually installed with the piping system is only with a system utilizing the plug valve. The ball is generally of steel and is provided with a Teflon similar type of the material with the seat with the media of the valve passages generally permit fill pipe size passages of product cleaning equipment. Check valves are used to restrict the flow of one direction only with the gravity pressure for the operator with some type of equipment with the manual operation for the emergency purposes during the special operations. Your expansion joints are within the mechanical type of the generally used when they installed with adequate anchorage or as essential. Expansion of the pipe is usually controlled by the changing of the direction of the pipe. Block and blinds. Two different products are addition of the connected lines. A single valve with the usually type of the plug is not sufficient to separate them except with the plug operated with a double block and bleed valve. Corrosive connections between the different product lines. They authorize two valves then open and lock, seal, open and drain between the positive blinds with the double block bleed valves where the open drains are required. Your pressure relief system, small and bypass relief valves are installed with the purpose of relieving the line pressure due to the thermal expansion of the contents of the line where the sections may be closed off. Sediment strainers and sand traps. Basic type of the strainer of the basket type of the strainer, the basket type wire mesh strainer generally installed with the suction side of the pump sediment strainer. The purpose of the twofold to remove the gross sediment before the fuel is pumped into the storage tank and thereby decreasing the fuel frequency of the tank with the cleaning by removing solids, fuels, and pumps to protect by the undue wear to the abrasive sediment. 2. Sand traps. Sand traps function as a manner similar with the sediment with the strain of the collecting of the dirt and scale of the floating debris of the pump through the pipeline and accumulate with the draining of the piping cleaning. Normally, sand traps are installed with the pairs of suction side of the mainline pumping station. Alright, line identification. Identification of petroleum lines must be in accordance with the military standard 161. Identification methods of bulk petroleum product systems are in no circumstances with a color other than yellow, warning in black and white for the identification sign with the petroleum product. Lines other than the petroleum products will be marked in accordance with military standard 101. 4.8. Pipeline transfers. Pre-cleaning. After the construction of the line should be cleanly with circulation rapidly rate if possible to remove the sand, soil, or ash, water. If the lines are arranged that cannot be circulated product should be pumped back and forth through the harbor of the purge of the tank of the vehicle. Made used for this purpose. Strainers must be frequently inspected with a claim as required during the operation of the frequency. When the facilities are available, and design permits with the deformable pigs and shears and scrapers should be run through the lines. Maintain product quality. It is important to maintain the product purity in all fuels handling with the situation, minimizing the possibility of delivering contaminated fuel to the aircraft, vehicles, or other fuel consuming equipment. Central fecal separator for the general central fecal type of the separators are effective for the air and are used whenever the practical, separating water with the gross type of the solid during the transfer between the bulk storage areas and during offload of the barges. Filter separators. All aviation jet fuels must pass through the filter separated between the pump and the tanker car trunk loading racks whenever their fuel is dispensing directly into the aircraft. The filter separator is qualified under specification MIL F8901 latest revision, and the capacity of the unit must be equal to the capacity of the pumping of the fuel as a minimum. Your flow characteristics. The pressure of the low pipeline is usually dependent on the specific gravity, the rate of flow, the velocity of the resistive flow of the liquid, the pressure loss of the varies greatly different liquid. When considering more viscous fuels decrease due to the temperature, due to right timing temperatures, extreme rising temperature with extreme cold with increase the density with the possible increase of the viscosity of fuel should be considered with evaluating operation condition. Your optimum pump temperature, often with the density of the preheat of the burner fuel of the oil to pursue the maximum pumping rates. However, the optional pumping temperature of the fuel of the oil with nothing worthwhile while the pumping rate is gained with the heating of the product beyond the point. For example, the grade fuel of the Navy specified 25, 50, 75 degree heat. Probable post-range transfer heat SSFI at 122. Heating principles. Heating of the oil with a pump usually is accomplished by the shore storage of the ship tank. However, unless the oil of the liner is insulated with a place with a heated tunnel, there will be several degrees of the drop of the temperature through the pipeline. Some of the insulation will have the same streamline tracers as PET or gut lines. So the condensate with the lines must be closely with the mounted to ensure against freezing and rendering both steam and oil lines inoperative. Placing of the filling lines. Lines are sometimes drained and when refilled where feasible. Where feasible, lines should always be filled and refilled or refilled. When lines are filled with the product with the lock valve closed due to the line temperature change with the pressure level loss for the air release, lines must be filled with the pack before each operation. Ensure the accurate with the issue with the receipt of the filling with the line may be accomplished with the circulating with the product with the line without the booster pump with the wire, the lump, loop, or the drain double line system is available. The filling of the alloying the air to escape with one or more vents of the high points at the end of the line much slower in some cases only with the means available when lines are filled with the air with all pockets are probable to remain with it may cause error in the gauging totals. Water may be used to displace lines, but extremely undesirable account of the difficulties removing it completely. Using the water will be avoided unless specifically authorized by the current technical authority. Product lines. Multi-product lines. Most depots have been constructed with at least once of each of the grade of the fuel should have the operated with the basis. However, in some cases, if the number of the products exceed the number of lines available, it will be necessary to move more than one product through a single line. You have the conversion between grades of the residual fuel. 2 grades of the residual fuel should be pumped through the same line with the one transfer may flow with another with the switch of the attack with the quality with the lighter grade with the point of delivery throwing of the zone of the mixture into the heavier grade. 2. The conversion of diesel fuel and other burner fuel oil with the drain line of the diesel and circulate with the warmer burner fuel rapidly. Normally 1 to 2% contamination of the diesel is compatible with the most burner fuels. Conversion between grader and gasoline in the same line with the bulk gasoline with the transfer for the ideal usual rail that is one line for each of the grade. With the case of more than one grade of the gasoline must be transferred in a single line with an interfacial mixture will be pumped in lower grade with the gasoline gravity may be or may not afforded closer to the check with depending on the gravity difference of 2 grades non-manifold connections should be permitted between the aviation gasoline and other grades of the gasoline unless the double block valves of the between them have been provided with a chain with the one grade with the gasoline to another grade with a normal condition with a separate spectacle blind with a double block shock and bleed valve shall be used. Conversion between the jet fuel and other products of the conversion of the jet fuel line with the other products that are normally required to complete with the displacement flushing of the line under supervision petroleum inspector if the once available. The guidance may be requested for the responsible technical service. The conversion of gasoline to jet fuel conversion, aviation gasoline lines to jet fuel requires careful draining of the line with the displacement of the gasoline within the jet fuel with a small amount of the jet fuel contaminated with the gasoline, but a small amount of the gasoline may not be adversely affected with the JP4, but will affect the JP5. Water should not be used with the displacement of the gasoline or jet fuel. Your surge pressure. Any liquid with the moving in the closed channel will create causes of the pipeline with a momentum. If the flow will totally suddenly stop at its open momentum, it will be easily cause elasticity, compressed again to the enclosure of the line, greatly increasing the temperature pressure of the valve. The extra pressure or surge pressure is added to the pressure already with the line test pressure that can be exceeded if the line is ruptured by the kind of hydraulic shock. Alright, 4.9, General Pipeline Operating Rule. The following rules carefully observed for the pipeline operation will be care of the efficiency, with the safety, without loss of the product, damage of the equipment. Issue of the complete written order with the appropriate for each of the operation, assignment of the personnel to define the duties of the listing lines, valve, pumps, and tanks to be used with the product, with the quantity to be received, the issue, location, advised vessel, with the estimated time of the vessel arrival, the beginning of the operation, number, the size of the hose, handling equipment to be handled to be used with the communication with the telephone with the control system, firefighting equipment to have on hand with any of the special instruction precautions that might be required to be the assignment only with the experience of the qualified personnel with the independent work with make sure that each of the man receive the understanding complete instruction covering the operation for the standard stop of the operation slowly carefully with the take plenty of the time, close valves, bring pressure up gradually with observe the pressure gauges. D. Train all personnel to know the entire system each with the familiar with the others are doing. Never exceed with the working of the pressure limit. That never cut off the one tank before cutting off another into the same line system. Always have the positive communication between the operating point with which they are from pier to pier to tank farm, or the pier to pump out the tanks to tank, or etc. Never assume the other fellow might be going. No. For no sure, unless necessary, do not have more than one tank open with the line system, except with the tank of the switches. Always have proper tool for the job of the right key for the lock valve with access the pits. Observe all safety precautions in such stopping an operation when the conditions become unsafe. Investigate the gas fumes and pressure loss, etc. But between the continuation of operation, always plan ahead. Train each man to anticipate the emergency of his action, with the and reactions that will appear with the required with the cope with the situation that may arise. Never use a bar, other means with the force of the gate with the valve closed with the non-rising stem with the valve with the open with the wheel should be turned at least one half, turn away with a full open limit to allow the free movement of the indication valve is open. Always vent accuracy operation with the lineup, but never assume the valve is open, close with the air flow with the in and out of the tank as soon as possible. After starting operation, read automatic and leak tank gauge within 15 minutes of the start of the operation, and periodically thereafter the manual gauging of JP4 of the tanks will not be accomplished with the tank with it being empty or filled. In the case of the manual gauging of the other fuels, extremely precautionary measure for the directive of the military department, it will be fouled. 410. Servicing valves and fittings. Servicing valve of the pipe fittings are considered for the operational work to be performed. Operating personnel will include with lubricating, cleaning of the lining and equipment of the painting and identifying, adjusting, minor packing, repacking, and inspection. Duties must be carried out with the less skilled personnel with dismantling, remove the major repacking, replacement of the gland, stuffing, block the resetting, adjusting governors and safety limits are considered for the operational maintenance to be performed, especially assigned with the system maintenance personnel. Section 4. Pumping operations.